Okay, we're here with Jesus Ramos. Jesus, undefeated 140-pound prospect, big step up against very experienced Javier Molina. Just tell us about training camp and how you're approaching this fight against a well-experienced fighter in Javier Molina.
We had a good training camp. We had about 8 weeks. So for my last fight, I didn't stop training. It was continuing, and we've been training for 7 days out of the week these past 8 weeks, and working hard every day. We don't take anybody lightly, so nothing's changed in camp. We trained as hard, if not harder. And we're ready for Javier Molina. Like you said, he's a big step up. I feel like he's a big step up on paper. I feel like I've seen competition, I've seen tougher competition in the ring. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
You definitely don't take anyone lightly, but it's so far it's been easy work for you, man. What do you expect in this fight from him? As you're saying, on paper, he looks like a very experienced fighter, but like you said, you faced opponents much better than him. You've gotten them out early. What do you expect from yourself in this fight? What do you want to see from yourself in this fight?
I want to showcase a little more skills. I feel like you said, I've been kind of just knocking people out, and I haven't been able to show my arsenal. I feel like I have a lot to my arsenal, and I'm hoping that Javier Molina brings that out of me Saturday night.
Do you think a part of the reason that you're able to take these fighters out early is because you're fighting consistently? You're one of the busiest fighters during the pandemic. I think you might have had 5 fights or something along those lines?
Yeah, of course. Experience helps a lot, of course, staying active. And I think what's helping me is that I've shared training camps with Terrence Crawford, Maurice Hooker, Robert Brandt. So I've been soaking up a lot of knowledge from them, and they're world champions, if not a former world champions. And it's great to learn from them.
Yeah, what camps in particular were you with Terrence Crawford, if you can recall?
We were back in July when the pandemic just started. So yeah, he was kind of getting ready for Cobrook, and we were in December with Maurice Hooker when he was getting ready for Virgil Ortiz. So he started training in December. So I fought in December, and I came back in February. So he was still in camp, and I went back into camp with him, and then
Obviously, you don't want to brag about how sparring went. You kind of keep that a secret. Nowadays, it's very hard, though, for fighters to do that. But how did that sparring go between you and, if you even got a chance to get in the ring with Terrence Crawford?
Yeah, I did. It was really intense. We were sparring 4-minute rounds, and they were, high intensity. And but it was good work. I learned a lot. And I'm gonna showcase it on Saturday night.
Did that experience give you a little more confidence in what you're able to do as a fighter, that maybe you went in there with not having that kind of thought of yourself or perception?
Yeah, of course. It gives you a different type of confidence, and I think that's why I'm confident for this Saturday, and that's why I'm confident in taking this big step up. Because I've seen what I can do in the ring against talented fighters, so I'm ready.
Speaking of confidence, in this card, there's a lot of Mexican fighters. Of course, Mexicans are probably some of the most confident fighters out there. I think it's your cousin, Andy Ramos, that's fighting Omar Figueroa. Your uncle, yeah, sorry. What do you make of his matchup with Omar Figueroa?
You know what? I think Figueroa's tough. He's a tough fighter, and they say he's focused. So I know he's coming to fight, but I've been in camp with my uncle, and I've seen how he's training, and I've seen how motivated he is, and he's real strong right now, and I think he's going to give Omar Figueroa problems, and I think he can stop him in the later rounds if lets his hands go.
As for the main event, Andy Ruiz and Arreola, it looks like they put themselves through a lot to get in probably the best shape they've been in their careers. If you've been observing, how do they look to you from the outside looking in?
Yeah, man, they look in great shape. Especially Andy Ruiz, considering how he looked his last fight. So I'm excited to see that. After my fight, I'm excited to sit down and just be a fan, because it's gonna be a good fight, and I can't wait for that fight as well.
Do you give the edge to anyone?
Yeah, I think Andy Ruiz, because of his age, because he looks motivated, and
as for yourself, man, the 140 division is hot. Do you think that's gonna be your division? You're a pretty tall guy, rangy, or do you think it's gonna be 147 where you're gonna settle in? How do you see things for your career in the future?
147, I think is gonna be for me. This fight's at 147.
Okay, that's good.
So yeah, I feel like I'm a lot stronger at 147. I was struggling to get down to 140, so now at 147, I feel a lot stronger.
So you feel that maybe you're going to stay in this division, or you're going to fill it out, or depending on the performance? Or
I think I'm gonna stay here for as much as I can because I'm growing. Like you said, I'm only 20 and I'm growing each time out. So I think eventually I can move up to 154, maybe even a 160 pounder.
Yeah. Who's the top dog at 147? And Manny Pacquiao still out there. There's rumors that he might be facing Errol Spence Jr. in July. Just how do you see that division? Who's the top dog, and what are your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao still fighting in this division?
Manny Pacquiao still fighting is great because he was my idol, and I used to watch him a lot. So I got to see him against Thurman live, and that's something that I wouldn't have considered, because I was so young, and he would have stepped out of the game by now. But like you said, he's a lot older, so he might be on his way out. And I feel like the two top dogs right now are Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And whenever they fight, then we'll see who the real top dog is.
Having been in that little bit of camp with Terrence Crawford, how would you assess the Errol Spence, the potential Errol Spence fight in the future?
You know what? I think Terrence Crawford is smart. He has a lot more movement than Errol Spence, but Errol Spence is real strong, and he likes to come forward. So I think it's a 50-50 fight. But, like you said, being in camp with Terrence Crawford and seeing what he can do in the ring, I'd give him the slight edge.
Okay, last thing. A man who ruled 147 for a very long time, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is coming back. Super exhibition with Logan Paul. It just announced it June 6th. I know you're focused on your camp, tough fight ahead of. But what are your thoughts on the event overall, man? What's going on with boxing with those kind of fights happening?
You know what? There's a lot of controversy over that, and I agree with the people that say it's not fair because there's amateur boxers that have been fighting their whole life, and they want that kind of opportunity. But at the same time, I mean, they're bringing viewers to the sport. A lot of people are becoming interested in the sport now. Maybe not the right way, but something is something.
Good question for yourself. Last question. If the opportunity was given to fight for the world title, for against a Jake Paul, a lot of money, or for the world title, which would you take? And then, as you know, a lot of people want to see Jake Paul lose, man. They really want to see how he fares against a fighter such as yourself, a young up-and-coming undefeated fighter who's hungry. Would you take a Jake Paul fight before a world title fighter, or you just don't want any parts of that kind of fight, man?
Yeah, I wouldn't take any part of that. Like you said, there might be a lot of money involved, but I'm here to win belts. I'm here to establish my legacy against real fighters, against fighters at the elite competition, and that's what I'm here to do.
All right, so tell the fans where to follow you on social media, and last words for all your people back home in Texas, I think, right?
Arizona,
sorry.
Yeah, Jesus Ramos Jr. _ on Instagram, and Jesus Ramos Jr. on Twitter and Facebook. And, to all my supporters, thank you. Tune in Saturday night. It's going to be a great fight. Thank you.
All right, cool. Appreciate you, Jesus.